Welcome to Tousi TV. This is your global news channel. I'm Tousi, and the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps in Iran are once again in panic mode. They have been placed on high alert following a number of explosions across the country, including in Tehran and also the island of Kesh. There is also developments when it comes to the negotiations between the US and the Islamic occupation of Iran, and of course the mobilization of the troops by the Americans. We're going to go through all the updates with you guys and get your reaction live during the show, and of course in the comment section as well. Before we do that, we have a tradition. If there is a big fake news going around on social media, it's our job to debunk it, whether it's on social media or mainstream media. Today's biggest fake news that's been shared across the social media accounts is that apparently more B-52 bombers arrived at the Al Udeid air base in Qatar. Now, they've been posting it with this video saying that more US B-52 bombers have arrived. It's false. We haven't had any new B-52 bombers arriving at the Al Udeid air base, and this video itself is from 2024. It's from almost 2 years ago. So this is the fake news of the day. If you've been seeing this video and the caption on social media, ignore it. It's not true. Now, talking about the facts of what's actually going on in Iran. First, the Islamic Republic State media reported another explosion and fire that erupted in the cooling water area of a power plant in western Tehran. Let's go and see what happened there. So this was the initial one, and one thing that we started hearing was at the same time, within a very short space of time, we had a couple of explosions in the capital, one in Qesh, and there was a couple of other fires that we couldn't really verify to see if they were actually gas leaks or accidents or whatever, but these are definitely the suspicious ones. There was another mysterious fire in the capital that was also reported. Let's go. Now this is when we started getting the latest update of where one of the explosions of fires actually happened. That made it slightly even more suspicious, because the largest shopping center in the city was also exploded. Now, we've had at least 3 or 4 at this point. Well, before this, I think we had 2 or 3 shopping centers or commercial complexes that has had experience with random fires and explosions, but this was another one. This is not normal, by the way. Now, there could be a lot of sabotage that could be happening, obviously, and there's a lot of again, there's also been a lot of other fake news that's been shared again on social media. People who were sharing fake footage, saying, for example, that Parliament in Tehran has erupted, fire has erupted in Parliament. It's not true. There's a lot of fake videos that's going around as well. Considering that there's actual stuff happening anyway, there's no need to go around and create a fake news, but there are still people who do it because it's in their interest. The epidemic of gas leaks is accelerating across Iran, which obviously is not a gas leak, but they are gaslighting us to think that they are gas leaks. Get it? That's a good one. Let's quickly go back to the Americans. Apart from this fake news about the B-52 bombers, we actually did get an update from the United States that they have deployed another, how many? 24. Yep, 24 F-22 Raptors towards the Middle East. Now, 24 F-22 fighter jets. These are obviously, they're not just there to monitor the situation. They are there for heavy strikes against any target and enemy, but that is the latest in terms of the offensive strategy, the equipment and the troops that are being sent towards the Middle East. The rest of it has been, as I've been saying over the last week, defensive capabilities to protect the US bases, the regional countries, and the state of Israel. In terms of what the Islamic Republic are doing, in full panic mode, the Islamic military in Iran have completed, apparently, deploying the Matla 3 long-range early warning radar in the south of the country. So the point of it is to basically do detection and monitoring if the Americans or the Israelis try to launch an attack. Now, one thing that we know is that the United States military have capabilities of completely bringing down any of these radar systems that they have. The same thing that the Americans used against Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela, it can easily be used against these tiny, feeble radar systems that the Islamic Republic have now deployed towards the southern part of Iran. There's also the updates about where they are moving their missile launchers, a lot of them towards the east. I'm not really sure if they think that's a good idea. For the record, it's not a good idea, but I'm going to explain why. Let's quickly go to the next explosion, this time heard in the island of Gesh. Now, it was a tiny, obviously short video, but there was a statement by the Islamic Republic saying that they were doing military drills and air defense systems are being tested, which is highly likely. Of course, considering that that's basically in the Persian Gulf, they've been doing that over the last few days in general. So that aside, we also had the Islamic Republic of Iran sending text messages to everybody in the country because everything is fine. No need to panic. Everything's gone back to normal in Iran. So they have to use their Chinese systems, the Chinese communication tools, to send out mass text messages to people in Iran, warning them, saying, this is funny. The level of propaganda is brilliant. It's not really a threat. It's not really stay at home sort of message. No. Netanyahu is traveling to Washington out of fear of a nuclear deal with Iran. But Trump's own fear is a long and endless war with Iran. This is literally what they decided to send out to everybody in Iran. Do you know why? Primarily because in Iran, the Islamic occupation have not been able to successfully force people to be brainwashed by their propaganda state TV. People don't watch it. Now, if you're in North Korea, you have no other option. You'll be forced to watch the propaganda TV of Pyongyang. But in Iran, it's difficult to get people to watch the state media. So what they have to do in order to spread their propaganda is not just to make AI videos, to start sending mass text messages with propaganda. And if this were some sort of threatening message to everybody, we are watching you, we're coming for you, don't come out to protest, I would respect it. Well done, that's a good dictator, very good tyrant. That's how you scare people. You're just sending out random tweets. Netanyahu is going to America. But the Islamic nutters of Iran aside, the Prime Minister of Israel, of course, has now traveled, has gone to Washington to meet with President Trump. The meeting will take place tomorrow, which will be crucial. And he did say just before he departed from Israel that on this trip we will be discussing a range of issues, including Gaza, but of course, primarily the negotiations in Iran. Let's go to Bibi.
אני יוצא עכשיו לארצות הברית לנסיעה השביעית שלי להיפגש עם הנשיא טראמפ מאז שהוא נבחר בקדנציה השנייה. זה כמובן לא כולל את הביקור הבלתי נשכח שלו בישראל והנאום שלו בכנסת. אני חושב שהדברים האלה משקפים את הקרבה הייחודית והיחסים באמת היוצא הדופן שיש לנו עם ארצות הברית, לי אישית עם הנשיא ולמדינת ישראל עם ארצות הברית. דבר שלא היה כמוהו בתולדותינו. בנסיעה הזאת אנחנו נדון בשורה של נושאים, עזה, האזור, אבל כמובן בראש ובראשונה במשא ומתן עם איראן. אני אציג בפני הנשיא את התפיסות שלנו לגבי העקרונות במשא ומתן, העקרונות החשובים. ובעיניי הם עקרונות חשובים לא רק לישראל, אלא לכל מי שבעולם רוצה שלום וביטחון במזרח התיכון. תודה רבה לכם.
Can I just say, I actually feel sorry for the Islamic Republic here because it's really not fair. They think they're having some sort of bilateral talks with the Americans. Firstly, they're not even bilateral talks when you got a bunch of Arabs in the middle of the negotiations. But it's not fair because you're not just negotiating with the Americans, you're negotiating with America and Israel. And the Israelis are not actually negotiating with you. Israelis are talking with the Americans for the Americans to tell the Omanis to then tell you what you should do. So it's a very difficult position for the Islamic Republic. So my thoughts and prayers go to Khamenei and his terrorist gang. But obviously the situation on the ground aside, we also have some update about who may be coming or have come from Washington, the White House specifically, to the Middle East. So we had a clipper from the US Air Force that departed from the United States, went, usually this is what they use to transport White House officials, key senior officials, went towards the Middle East. Initially landed in Cyprus for a short space of time and then moved towards the region. So there is a lot of stuff that's happened in terms of the central command, the senior military leadership, the senior political officials from Washington. Everybody is going towards the Middle East, and we're also going to talk about what the vice president is up to, J.D. Vance, because his role is also now crucial when it comes to another corner that could be used to attack Iran, which is Azerbaijan and Armenia, which was the genius of the White House over the last few months. Now, this aside, the Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi has once again sent out a new video statement about his thoughts. Let's quickly go to him, and then we're going to talk about more updates about the Americans and how they are continuing to mobilize their troops in the Middle East. Let's go to the Crown Prince.
همیهنان شجاع و مبارزم. همانطوری که خوب می‌دانید، جمهوری اسلامی همیشه تلاش کرده است که ایجاد یأس و ناامیدی بکند. ما این همه جوان و مردم هوشیار از دست ندادیم که بقیه شما امیدی به زندگی نداشته باشید. بالعکس، ما با زنده ماندنمون ایرانمون رو نجات خواهیم داد. درگیر این مسائل حاشیه‌ای و بحث‌های فرعی نشید که فلانجا این حرف زده شده یا مذاکره انجام شده. ایمان داشته باشید به پیروزی خودتون، ایمان داشته باشید به قدرت خودمون و باور داشته باشید که این بار جهانیان پشت سر شما خواهند ایستاد و از آزادی شما حمایت خواهند کرد. دست در دست هم پیش خواهیم رفت و دشمن را شکست خواهیم داد. پیروزی از آن شماست، پاینده ایران.
Yeah, so this weekend we are going to have a massive global awakening across the world led by people in Munich. Yes, Saturday, the 14th of February. Everybody's Valentine's Day has been ruined because everybody's going to Munich. There's also going to be massive gatherings in Toronto and Los Angeles, and of course across the world in general. But this is for the opposition in Iran to rally the troops, to send a message to the rest of the world, especially when it comes to Munich, because you have the security conference in Munich this weekend, and the world leaders are going to be there. It's important to send a message to everybody that the Iranians are united, the Iranians are ready to take back control of their country. They're quickly going to the Americans. First we have Ali saying apparently the regime in Iran are taking revenge against those in downtown Tehran, the marketplace, of course, all the merchants and business people who started the protests and the uprisings last month. So that's what this guy was saying. And Ivan says the radar looks like the World War II era. A lot of the stuff they have is from the Soviet era, actually. Will Iran become military controlled like Egypt and Pakistan? No, because after the revolution, no. It's just going to be a normal liberal democratic country again. For now, it has been like that since 1979, but it's going to change. Now, let's go to the Americans, because there are more updates about what has been sent. Another E-3C aircraft has now been sent. These are the sentries that are basically flying out from the US, the East Coast, towards the Middle East, actually from Norfolk to the Middle East. The E-3Cs are basically the early warning, and they're also the command aircraft. They help with communications and the main hub to be used for any major military operation, not necessarily just airstrikes, but for military operations that could involve invasion as well. So that has been sent in addition to everything else that we've already had. According to the IRGC propaganda, of course, we have to show you guys the other side as well to be objective. The Chinese satellites have revealed the location of their THAAD defense systems that have recently been deployed by the United States in Jordan. Now, of course, they are there to protect Israel in case the Islamic Republic tries to launch drones or ballistic missiles or whatever. And I mean, they are primarily used against the ballistic missiles because otherwise it's just a waste if you use it against little tiny drones. But these are the locations that with the help of the Chinese, the IRGC have managed to show. I mean, this is not really any sort of a groundbreaking discovery, but they want to portray an image that, ooh, we have intel, we can do things. Yeah, you have access to Google Earth. So just zoom in and you can have a look at things. But they need the Chinese to give them access to Chinese Google Earth. But putting aside the situation with the satellite imagery, in the region, we are also seeing some interesting developments. Vice President J.D. Vance has been sent to Armenia and Azerbaijan. Now, of course, as you guys know, historically, Azerbaijan and Armenia don't really like each other. And but we have had numerous negotiations and what we call a soft peace agreement between Azerbaijan and Armenia. So you tend to have Cold War, but this is basically cold peace. And now we know why, because both of these places next to each other, to the north of Iran, can now be used as military hubs for takeoff, which is absolutely crucial. By keeping these two sides, which has been brokered by President Trump, keep them quiet for now, just peaceful, just shut the F up, don't attack each other, stop killing the Armenians. Do that for now, because there is a priority. If you do try to penetrate Iran from the north, then you don't have to worry about the Arabs, you don't have to worry about Qatar or Saudi Arabia or any of those guys, but it's just obviously a good place to also have for potential evacuations or for potential penetration in terms of special forces if they have to go in. Hypothetically speaking, obviously, we don't know exactly what the military plan is going to be from the United States, but this place is absolutely crucial. That's why J.D. Vance has been sent there, both to Armenia and to Azerbaijan today to basically send a message that the Americans are now right next door to Iran. Now, 6 more US Air Force F-35s are now heading towards the Middle East, in addition to everything else that you already have, even those existing on USS Abraham Lincoln. The US military buildup is fascinating because the F-35s are going to be great tools against imminent drone takeoffs from Iran. So any drone activity, F-35s, it's basically like a video game for them. It's not going to be that difficult to monitor first and then bring it down. So the F-35s will also have multiple functions in general, but you can see that if they are located just outside Iran to the south, we can see that they will be there to protect this airspace in the Middle East in case the Islamic Republic try to launch any drones or whatever it is. Now, the F-22s, obviously, they're there for air combat. If there's an air-to-air situation for defense, they will be used, the F-22 Raptors. If you're going to do bombings, obviously you use the F-52 bombers, for example, or B-2 bombers or B-52 bombers. But for air combat, F-22s, for obviously F-35s also in terms of the protecting the skies, essentially, against anything that is launched. Now, that takes us to China. Because once again, satellites from China. This is actually from Diego Garcia. The island is showing one nuclear submarine and an oil tanker that have now been moved to a nearby dock. Now, we have had a bit of activities, military activities from the US, from this area, Diego Garcia. The Chinese obviously now have big influence in that part of the world because of their leadership in Mauritius, who are in the pockets of Beijing, and the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland helped China recently to give Mauritius more access to that part. So they have obviously access in terms of influence and communication. We also had two P-8s, these are their patrol aircraft, and 3 KC-135s refueling tankers, and 2 C-130 transport aircraft also being moved from Diego Garcia. So these are, again, according to the satellite images from the Chinese Communist Party. Now, quickly going to the Islamic Republic. As you guys know, over the last few days, we have been keeping you entertained because it's still very stressful times for everybody, not just in Iran, not just in the Middle East, but across the world. And so every now and then, if you can, you're gonna have to laugh. And we've been doing that by showing you guys AI videos from the Islamic Republic. One of them was the AI video that showed the USS Abraham Lincoln getting destroyed. The other one yesterday was the AI video showing Tel Aviv being destroyed, with the music video that the guy was singing, kill the Jews or whatever, because that's normal behavior. Today, we have the IRGC channels publishing another AI video, this one threatening the Americans, saying that the Islamic Republic of Iran has declared that the military presence by the Americans in the region exposes the entire Middle East to a full-scale war. Let's go to AI IRGC. Oh, hello. This one is like Call of Duty. Not bad. It's a very slow pace. Yeah. I've seen better. Still going. Oh wow. Is that it? Okay. Yeah. It's like the intro video to the latest Call of Duty. And I say specifically Call of Duty because it's a terrible video game. Battlefield is the only way to go. So yeah, that was supposed to be threatening, but it really wasn't. I'm not scared, unless you are. But the IRGC media themselves are also reporting that the Islamic military, the Air Force, the Aerospace Force, have now successfully tested a new advanced missile in recent days. Now, the interesting thing about this is that the video they showed us with no sound was an old video, but they said we have done a test using a new advanced missile, but the officials have now said that the details of the test of the new missile are being kept classified for national security purposes. So everything remains undisclosed, but trust me, we've done something. We can't tell you what we've done. I don't know, but I know that something's happened. We have sources. We can't tell you what the sources are. I'm guessing Candace Owens is responsible for the testing of the new missiles because nobody has any evidence of what they're talking about. What are they doing? You can't use old videos with your existing ballistic missiles and say we've just made another new advanced missile in the middle of a war. We just discovered we could make new ones, and we've done a test. Oh, where did you do it? Somewhere. Do you have a video? Can we see how it works? No, it's a secret. But you did the test out in the open. Yeah, we did. So people could see it. Technically, if they're around. So tell us. No, we don't know. That's basically the short summary of the conversation between the Islamic Republic and the rest of the world when it comes to this testing, whatever they've been doing. It's interesting how they think the rest of us are stupid. So, we have... This is to see you wave the Israel and Iran flags. Well, I can't do it now because I don't have neither of them, because I'm not in my home studios. I'm currently in a bunker in Gaza. I might just say that. To bring F-22 Raptors is huge. Khamenei is screwed if they are unleashed. Yeah, I mean, none of the fighter jets of the Islamic Republic will be able to fight against the F-22s. Not necessarily just because the F-22s are superior, but the pilots are superior. You do not mess with the US Air Force pilots. It's just not a good idea. If they come to you, you jump. Just jump out. You don't need parachute. Just jump out. Eject. And not in a good way. Khamenei should lay off the beans. Too much gaslighting, blowing the lid off his hiding places. I do wonder if, because as you guys know, any sort of leader, whether it's a democratic leader or a dictator, you've got the closest people to his inner circle deciding what to share with the leader, because they don't have to tell, they tend not to tell everything to the leaders. If this person needs to know something, they will tell them. Otherwise, we're going to get into trouble, because people like Khamenei, they shoot the messenger if they don't like the message. So how much does Khamenei actually know about the situation on the ground right now? Because he's not on the ground. He's in a bunker. So, because he's a very brave leader. And, but that aside, we do know that they had to move his location 3 times now. We just don't know where he is anymore. I'm still going to guess he's somewhere in Tehran, but we don't know. F-22 against biplanes. So if the US should penetrate Iran from Azerbaijan and Armenia, would it be a good idea to do it from Kazakhstan and Turkmenistan? Well, I think that's going to slightly anger Vladimir Putin because, well, to be fair, I think some of the people from Turkmenistan could just tell Putin to shut up. But it's probably not a good idea right now to use every part of the northern parts of Iran. But as long as you have Armenia and Azerbaijan on your side, then that's fine. Now, F-22's combat control, which has superior radar jamming and targeting, plus controls drones, wingman, and the network something battlefield PC of equipment. Yeah, and the pilots who operated obviously with the control, you do not mess with those guys because it's the United States. You don't want to poke the bear. They don't lose control. Now, and where is the... Hang on. Ivan says they tell better lies than Starmer. Yeah, a little bit. Turbo John says another clickbait. Okay. Good for you. If that made you feel better, then that's fine. If it didn't make you feel better, take a chill pill while we still continue to show you the evidence of explosions in Iran. Anyway, retard. They really are show bus riders, aren't they? They are not even that. Not sure how their dictator is still alive. He's ancient and should have kicked the can by now. Yes, thank you for all you do, Tousi TV. One of the main reasons is that the Ayatollahs live forever. The average age is at this point 350, is because they don't do much throughout the day. So Khamenei wakes up early, does his fake prayers, because when he was young, he wasn't even really actual religious. He was a cleric, but like most of them, it's just fake. It's to get other people to become religious. And they wake up early, they do the prayers, they have a meeting, and then he goes to sleep. He does a late morning nap. This is based on the intel that was leaked about 5 years ago, 10 years ago, from one of the people close to his team that left Iran. And then he naps, he wakes up at lunchtime, he has a nice walk, lunch, another prayer session. They love to do that. Just, bend over, get up, bend over again. And that's also exercise. Unironically, that's actually also part of the exercise. And then he probably plays some PlayStation and, again, Battlefield, kill some Americans, think that he's done something useful. And just watches Tousi TV at some point, live streams. He doesn't really do much. The rest of the team obviously do more. There's a lot of walking around, hiking. Do you think they're and military? What? Do you think they're something and military defected are staying to help with inside information? Perhaps it could be that. There are a lot of speculations about what's going on with those who have privately defected. But it could be that they haven't declared it publicly, so they are still walking amongst the rest of the people in the regime, so the regime obviously are terrified, so they are basically leaking information, or perhaps they have left, or they've run away, they're in hiding and waiting for the right moment to come back out. There are so many obviously scenarios that could be when it comes to these people who have defected. Because it was not public defections, they were private defections. But there are thousands of them, apparently. I don't have any evidence. Personally, I'm still trembling in my boots from the IRGC burning the piece of paper that they burned the US flag. Ultimate intimidation. Why couldn't they just get an actual flag? Why did they have to print an A4 piece of paper with the American flag, and around it you still had the white bits? Jeff says your, and he spelled it Y-O-U-R instead of Y-O-U-R apostrophe E, effing retard. Spelling like a retard, calling me a retard. This is peak 2026, ladies and gentlemen. Someone says, hi Tousi. Hello someone. And thank you, Joey, for the support. If you want to insult, try to spell properly. If you do have dyslexia, I fully understand. Use ChatGPT to make it up for you. It's not that difficult. Always have AI next to you. And you could also ask ChatGPT to come up with creative ways to insult me. I will always reward you. If you're going to be a troll, if you're going to attack the channel, if you're creative, then obviously we will reward you. But if you're going to not be able to even spell, it's a little bit embarrassing. Come on, guys. Now, there will be more updates. The Israelis are claiming that we are now confident that America and Israel, neither of them will allow the Islamic Republic to possess nuclear or ballistic missiles. So take it as good news, I guess, that their rhetoric is there's not going to be a deal, basically. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Tousi, and we are the media.